Hello. Good morning. My name is Erica Contreras. I'm Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas Secretary for Program 2, and I would like to officially welcome you to FL Schlagle High School Multi-Year Program 2024 to 2025 JAG-K Initiation and Installation Ceremony. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Hello, my name is Karen Price. I am the Vice President of Leadership Development for JAG-K Program 1. JAG-K is a 501c3 nonprofit that partners with public schools to offer an elective class that provides academic and other positive supports to ensure students earn their diplomas by exploring career opportunities and practicing soft skills. Students are prepared to successfully transition to post-secondary education, military service, or into the workforce following their graduation.
Hello, I am Danisha Moses, Secretary of Program 3. Our career specialists, Coach Newton and Mrs. Pittman, Ms. Bryan, and Ms. Cassandra, work to develop community relationships to help provide internships, job shadow opportunities, guest speakers, college and business visits, and other career and leadership development opportunities. We have 3 statewide JAG-K events each year and 1 national event for JAG-K students. There are many local events open to any students as well as career association members, which let all students participate. The Career Association provides opportunities for leadership, community service, career exploration, and on-site job shadow experience.
Good morning, my name is Mercedes Muganda and I am parliamentarian of Program 2. Let's begin initiating our members into the Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas Career Association. Can all the first year members rise to their feet and remain standing, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for joining our Career Association. Can all the returning JAG-K members stand and remain standing, and let's give them a round of applause. I look forward to getting to know you guys more and building the culture and community of success in Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas. Thank you.
Alright, morning everyone. Can all members of Jobs for America Graduates Kansas Career Association please stand one more time and repeat after me. I pledge that I will carry out to the best of my abilities all the duties and responsibility of membership in the Jobs for America Graduate Kansas Career Association. I fully understand and accept the purpose of this organization, and I will conduct myself so that I shall reflect honor upon the organization and will maintain high standards in my academic and business activities. Thank you. You may have a seat.
Good morning, and thank you guys all for coming today. My name is Mrs. Pittman, and I'm the JAG-K Career Specialist for Program 2. Each year, JAG-K Career Association elects officers to lead the JAG-K program. The following students have been elected president of their program. Please join me on the front of the stage when I call your name for your official installation as president. Yaretsi Garcia, President of Program 1. Tanae So, President of Program 2. Henry Solomon, President of Program 3. Caleb White, President of Program 4. You all have been chosen as presidents for the 2024-2025 JAG-K programs at FL Schlagle High School. In electing you as president, the members have indicated their faith in your leadership abilities. You are responsible for leading our JAG-K activities and always representing JAG-K in everything that you do. You will listen to members' ideas and encourage participation in all activities. Do you all understand and accept these responsibilities? Thank you, and please congratulate our peer-elected presidents for JAG-K.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us in our I&I ceremony. I am your president, Yoretzi Garcia of JAG-K Program 1. I am so grateful and honored for this opportunity I have received to be voted for this position in this moment. I have the privilege to announce my team officers for the 2024-2025 school year. When I call your name, please join me on stage. Michelle Voyola, Secretary. Mikalo McGee, Parliamentarian. Nyla Garrett, Vice President of Civic Engagement. Eli Mua, Vice President of Social Awareness. Ashley Perez Franco, Vice President of Service Learning. Carolyn Perez, Vice President of Leadership Development. Mariana Jones and Bradley Beckwith, Vice Presidents of Career Preparation. Thank you all for being leaders in our program, school, and community. You may have a seat.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am T. So. Thank you all for re-electing me President of Program 2 for this year. I am very happy to announce the officers this year. When I call your name, please join me on stage. Erica Contreras, Secretary. Mercedes Maganda, Parliamentarian. Jocelyn Golan, Vice President of Career Preparation. Charlie Nicholas Estrada, Vice President of Leadership Development. Nay So, Vice President of Civic Engagement. Charity Bettis, Vice President of Service Learning. Felix Vane, Vice President of Social Awareness. Thank you for being leaders in our program, school, and community.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Henry Solomon, the president of Program 3. Thank you all for electing me president. I would like to welcome my team to the stage when I call your name. Anthony Mendez, Vice President. Danisha Moses, Secretary. Alex Maganda, Parliamentarian. Thank you all for joining me in leading our program this year.
Hello everybody, I'm Caleb White, President of Program 4. Thank you to all who voted for me, and I look forward to this year with my new officers. When I call your name, please come join me. Janiyah Richardson, Vice President. Mariah Mena, Secretary. Michelle Armendariz, Secretary. Daniela Torres Valles, Parliamentarian. Give them a round of applause.
Can all officers stand at their seat and repeat after me? I understand fully the responsibilities and duties of the office to which I was elected, I hereby promise to accept and fulfill these to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Janaya Richardson, Vice President of Program 4, and at this time we would like to introduce our speaker for today's ceremony, Darian Taylor. Also known as DT, Darian is from Manhattan, Kansas, and graduated from Pittsburgh State University. As a former college student and athlete, Darian has a deep-rooted passion for sports and physical health. After being a career specialist for 3 years with JAG-K, he now focuses on developing programs centered around health equity and creating opportunities for others throughout the Kansas City community. Please help me welcome Darian Taylor to the stage.
Maybe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go, that's better. So thank you for the intro. And no, I'm not Klay Thompson. I'm not Lonzo Ball. I'm not Drake. All right. My name's Darian Taylor, like you just heard. And matter of fact, let me just hold this. There we go. Yeah, my name is Darian Taylor, and it's an honor to be here. I'm so grateful to be here and to speak to you guys this morning. And I promise you this won't be the last time that you see me, so I'm looking forward to coming back as well and sharing some more about my experience and just talking to you guys about, life and how to transition and whatnot, being a young high school student right now and then getting yourself into the workforce. And so first and foremost, again, I want to express my gratitude for being here and having this opportunity. And then also I want to sing my praises for JAG-K. And so previous to where I am now, I spent about 3 years teaching JAG-K in Manhattan, Kansas. And so I always tell folks when they ask me about, what it's like to teach in high school, and I tell them all the time, I wouldn't trade the experience for anything in the world, but I definitely won't go back to it. Okay, I definitely won't do that. But all that to say, I feel like much like a lot of you are growing right now, you see yourself progressing and developing through this program. I know that I grew just as much myself in my term as a JAG-K career specialist. And so to give you a little background about me and where I come from, I stand here before you as a product of the many people, family, coaches, mentors who have poured into me. And without those people, I recognize I wouldn't be who I am today. I come from a single parent household. My mom raised me by herself, so I'm a mama's boy through and through. That's my girl. Grew up pretty poor, single wide trailer, around a lot of distractions, things going on, just life type stuff. And there were a lot of opportunities for me to fall into the wayside and to get involved with things that maybe were going to pull me away from, who I really need to be and who I want to be in this world. And so, fortunate for me, as I mentioned, I had a lot of great mentors and coaches, and I found out early that football was one thing that I for sure had a passion for. And I was very fortunate to have great coaches who developed me and enabled me to have a college scholarship, to have my school paid for, to go and get a degree, and then to come out and do things I've done to this point. And so, it's funny with JAG-K, I never once saw myself being a teacher or working in high school, never once saw it, never once had desire to do it, just kind of fell into it. And it's funny how things come full circle and work out in ways that maybe you didn't anticipate. And so, and with that, my time at JAG-K was one of the most influential times of my life because it helped me really figure out who I am and how I want to pursue this world and pursue my passions. And so, it was really funny to me when I found out that a lot of you guys have an interest in learning about leadership. Is that right? Which is great, because I feel like a lot of high school kids, generally speaking, don't really have that interest, and there's a lot of other things you guys would rather talk about and learn about. And so, super excited to talk more about that and my journey as far as leadership goes. And so before I do that, though, I just want to talk to you guys and help you understand that this JAG-K program that you guys are involved in is such a great opportunity, okay? There aren't too many classes where you get to come in and speak and work with mentors and folks who have been in the real world, and to have people who are so invested in you and helping you figure out who you are, who you want to be, what you're passionate about, and how you can pursue those passions, okay? So this is a wonderful program, a wonderful opportunity, and that's only if you guys choose to lean into it, okay? If you choose to commit to this journey, right? And since you're here right now in this I&I ceremony, that tells me you've already made that decision, okay? So I applaud you for being here, and I hope that you guys continue to lean into this experience as time progresses, okay? And then before I transition to talking about leadership, just want to remind you, okay, that life is going to be hard. And that ultimately you have to choose your heart, okay? It's hard to be committed. It's hard to be disciplined. It's hard to sometimes do the things that maybe most other people aren't doing. It's hard to go against the grain, okay? But on the flip side of that too, it's hard to go through life and not have an education. It's hard to go through life and not have a skill set or not have a passion or not have direction, all right? So at the end of the day, you guys are gonna have to choose your heart, and I hope you choose the right heart that's gonna ultimately pay off in the end and make your life just a little bit easier. Okay, now, talking about leadership, who here is a football fan? Raise your hand. I'm talking like real football, not like Sunday comes around, y'all put on a red jersey, but like y'all really like to watch football. Handful of y'all? Okay. I'm a big football guy. Played some college football, played some professional football. Coach football right now, most beautiful game in the world. All right, so with that, there's 3 phases or 3 elements of football. Anybody know what those 3 phases are? 3 elements? Offense, defense, what's the third? Special teams, there we go, right? That's the sleeper, right? So what I'm gonna talk to you about right now is kind of my personal playbook or my 3-step phase of leadership, all right? And number 1 is service, all right? One of my high school coaches, actually my high school coach, who I was very fortunate to come back and coach alongside and win a state championship with, Joe Sharts. I would not be who I am today without that man. And one of our core pillars of our program was leadership. And what that meant to us was to lead is to serve. All right, so at the very core of leadership is serving others. All right? So with that, understanding that life is not about what you get, nearly as much as it is about what you give of yourself. All right? What are you doing with your gifts, your skills, your talents that you've been blessed with to benefit other people? Okay? And as I came out of college, small, short backstory, okay? So I came out of school at Pittsburgh State, go Gorillas, and I had a lot of NFL interests. I had probably 15 different teams talk to me, Kansas City Chiefs being one of those. I had GMs calling my phone, I had scouts calling my phone, I had agents hitting me up, flying me out to Las Vegas to do visits and stuff like that, just living my best life. Fast forward, long story short, I didn't have the character or the habits to sustain where my talent got me to that point. And so things didn't pan out quite how I saw them panning out. And so going from senior year of college to thinking, okay, I'm gonna be drafted and play pro ball, I wound up being back in Manhattan, working construction, trying to make some money, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next, okay? Roundabout way, I find myself falling into working back at Manhattan High School, where I became a JAG-K career specialist, and around that time, I was probably 22 years old and still really had no idea what I wanted to do with my life as far as my career went, okay? And there was this quote that just was randomly behind my desk that someone had put up there, and the quote read that to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. And it really resonated with me. And now that I'm 28 years old now, I still don't know what I want to do with my life, career-wise, and that's okay. But what I do know is that who I want to be and how I want to get to that point, right? And that's by serving others. And I found that the more that I use my gifts, my talents to serve other people and improve others' lives, that the right opportunities, the right people come into my life in a way that I would have never expected to. Okay, so understand that leadership is rooted in service. What can you do, what will you do with the gifts that you have? Because we all have different gifts, different talents, different traits, different interests, and that's great. What are you doing to provide service and value to other people around you? All right, so that's the offensive piece of the 3 phases, okay? The second phase, defense, right? Everybody always says offense wins games, but defense gonna win you some championships, right? I believe in that full-heartedly, okay? So my defensive philosophy when it comes to leadership is accountability. Raise your hand if you heard that word before, accountability. Most of us in here? Okay, great. Now, accountability is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it's not easy, okay? It's so funny that, we talk about something being simple and folks assume it's gonna be easy. Simple does not mean easy. Simple means that if you do X, Y, and Z, this is the result. Easy means that it's not gonna take no work, okay? So just because it's simple don't mean it's gonna be easy. So with that accountability, right? Number 1 is being responsible and taking responsibility, all right? Owning your journey. Yes, we all go through adverse experiences and have things that have played part in where we are today, but we all eventually get to a point, whether you're 14, 15, 16, 22, 28, at some point, we have to take responsibility and accountability for where we are currently in our lives. Whether you enjoy where you are or you don't, there has to be a level of responsibility and accountability and ownership that comes with recognizing where you are within your journey. And alongside with that, not making excuses. All right? Excuses is one of those things where if you're looking hard enough for them, you're always going to find an excuse. And there's good excuses and there's bad excuses. One of the worst excuses with school, I used to have students tell me like the old, oh, my dog ate my homework, or my brother got a hold of it and that's why I don't have it done, right? So that's a bad excuse, right? There's also good excuses though, right? Like if you have a loved one who's sick, or maybe your car broke down, you couldn't get to school. That's a good excuse, right? But at the end of the day, excuses are excuses and don't help you get to whatever that goal is, all right? So being responsible, taking ownership, not making excuses, and with that, making intentional decisions. Intentional decisions. Well, what I mean by that is not making decisions or choices that wind you up in places that you don't necessarily want to be. So raise your hand if you ever made a decision that you look back on and you're like, I probably shouldn't have done that. Raise your hand. Pretty much everybody in here, right? I know, speaking for me personally, it would take every single person's hands and feet in this room for me to tally up the number of times that I have done that myself, making unintentional decisions and landing myself somewhere I really ultimately did not want to be. But that's not the point, all right? We're all going to make mistakes in life. We're all going to make bad decisions from time to time. What's most important is that we learn from those decisions and those choices, and that we don't make those same ones moving forward, and that as we learn from those, as we mess up, as we fall down, or as we fall forward, we are more intentional in the future about not putting ourselves in that same position. Third phase, special teams. That's a sleeper, all right? If you're a football fan, you've seen, I know like last year it was with the Chiefs, right? Who was probably the Chiefs' best player last year? Not Patrick Mahomes. Had an awful season last year.
Harrison Butker.
No.
Harrison Butker.
Harrison Butker. Who said that? Thank you. What position does Harrison Butker play? Kicker. Special teams. It's slept on, right? But sometimes that is what wins you games and gives you that extra edge and that extra push in the very end to get that win. And so talking about leadership, that special factor is faith. Faith, okay? Now, when I talk about faith, this is what it means to me in terms of leadership, okay? Being authentic, being true to who you are, not who your friends think you are, not who you think your friends or your peers want you to be, but being 100% genuine and authentic and true to yourself, your passions, your interests, your intuitions, okay? With that, having confidence. Part of having faith is being confident that despite what happens, despite what pans out, things are going to play out in your favor. Having confidence that the intentional decisions that you make are going to ultimately lead you to where you want to be. It may not be a straight shot to get there. You may have to take some curves and go over some hills and hit some bumps, but having faith that if you stay true to yourself, if you make intentional decisions, that at some point, things are going to pan out in your favor and you'll have exactly what it is that you want. What is that, nap time? Sound like a lullaby. And then the last couple points with faith, okay, is being resilient and being determined. Okay, I just touched on, right? In life, you're gonna have obstacles, you're gonna have setbacks, you're gonna have things that pop up and kind of throw you off your pivot, right? It's the ability to bounce back, to keep your eye on the prize, and understand again that this is part of life, and if you stay true to yourself, you stay true to your character, you stay true to your goals and your values, you stay true to who you are, that things are going to pan out and you will be able to bounce back better than before. And being determined to do so. And my last aspect of faith is having a growth mentality. And that's a perspective thing, right? Raise your hand if you've heard about growth mentality. A few of us in here? It's good, okay? And in a nutshell, what growth mentality means is despite what happens, good or bad, I'm gonna be all right, and that things are unfolding in my favor. All right, one of my biggest challenges and obstacles in life myself was dealing with the disappointment and the sadness, the anger that came with not going professional out of college, not being drafted, okay? For me, it was such a huge letdown because I was so excited to come into a lot of money, so excited to come into a lot of resources where I could then pay back all of the people, my mom, my uncles, my grandparents, my family, who poured into me. get my mom that house, buy her a new car, do those things. And then all of a sudden, it's just not a possibility, and I'm working construction, making $17 an hour, grinding my life away, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. With that though, as I became a little more mature and had time to really reflect on this is the conclusion that I came to, is that life is full of nothing but lessons and blessings. Lessons and blessings. And oftentimes, your hardest lessons in life are your biggest blessings. The things that I went through that took me away from where I thought I wanted to be led me to joining JAG-K, learning more about finances myself, learning more about my character, my development, my values, my goals, how I move through life. And all of those things helped me to be a more quality person, inspire others, lead others, and ultimately be in a place where I'm at today where I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So understand that having a growth mentality is that despite what happens good or bad in this moment, if you have the right perspective, if you look at things the right way, if you look at it as an opportunity to grow and be better, you can grow and be better and get back on track to where you're trying to be. And this whole leadership thing, so understand this, right? Like leadership, there are like university, college courses and programs where people spend years studying leadership. So there's so much more we can cover, but that is kind of in a nutshell my three phases, okay? It's service, it's accountability, and it's faith. Now, before we can really dive into, or before you as young people, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old folks, can really focus on wanting to be a leader and lead others, we first have to learn how to lead ourselves. We can't intentionally lead others before we can intentionally lead ourselves. And I use the word intentionally, all right? So whether you realize this or not, how you move, how you speak, what you do on a daily basis, there is somebody who is watching you who is being influenced by what you do. So again, before we can intentionally lead other people and be a great leader, we gotta learn how to intentionally lead ourselves. So with that, I give you this, all right? A lot of folks tell you that you need to step out of your comfort zone. I say you need to step into your growth zone. Step into your growth zone. Understanding that the more that you do that, the more you step into your growth zone, the more you embrace difficult opportunities or obstacles, that will eventually become your comfort zone, to where it becomes your comfort zone goes from this to this to this, and the next thing you know, it's growing like crazy. So continue to step into your growth zone. And along with that, how many people are in the world? Some billion? 8 billion? It's a lot of people, right? Understand this is so important. There is only one you that this world has and ever will have. Only one you. And that's what the world needs. The world doesn't need another me, doesn't need another Coach Kelly. The world needs you to be your best you and to use the gifts and the skills and the talents that you have to provide values to the people around you. Okay? You as you are. Scars, flaws, dirty draws and all. The world needs you to be you and step up and use your gifts and talents to impact others around you. Okay? I know it's so easy to get caught up in social media and in just the influences that are all around you and to want to be somebody else, to want to be something that you're not. Sometimes we might have pressure to be something that really doesn't feel right to who we are. But understand, the world needs you, and that the more you lean into being you and staying authentic and staying true to what you think and what you feel and what you believe, that the right people, the right opportunities, and the right things are going to come your way in due time. And here's the last thing I want to leave you with, okay? Understand that life is so crazy. You know, I'm 28 years old and life has not got any easier. I've gotten better with dealing with things in life, but it hasn't gotten easier by any means. And the biggest thing that I've found that's helped me through difficult times is gratitude. Is being able to step back and say that despite how bad this thing is, I still got this going for me. Despite how difficult this was, at least I still got this over here. Okay? And so this is what I want to leave you with, all right? If you've forgotten the gratitude, let me run that back. If you've forgotten the language of gratitude, you'll never be on speaking terms with happiness. If you've forgotten the language of gratitude, you'll never be on speaking terms with happiness. It could always be worse. We've always got some things to be grateful for, and we can focus on those things and build on those things. Things gonna be all right. All right, so again, I appreciate you guys letting me come out and speak with you today. I look forward to continuing to be involved in the JAG-K program, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Hello, I am Charity Bettis, the Vice President of Service Learning Program 2. Thank you so much for Dan Taylor for sharing his experience and wisdom. I cannot wait for all the events we are going to do and all the learning and friendship bonds to come. At this time, our I&I ceremony is officially over. Please feel free to join us for some refreshments in the auditorium. We hope you enjoyed our 2024 Initiation Installation Ceremony. Thank you so much for your support and time.
Thank everybody for coming out, parents.